morning, good morning. Yo, I can see myself, but yeah, I know I was figuring that out. What up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I know a lot of y'all have been seeing clips from my trip. Some of y'all have been watching TMZ and have watched watch what's happening on TMZ as far as Usher's birthday. Most of y'all know I just got back from Vegas, and Vegas was lit. I must tell y'all. I mean, y'all could probably see it. Like the time zone thing is the real thing that's got me jacked up right now. Is the what up, Zena? Good morning. The time zone has got me kind of, out of whack because of the 3 hour change, and then right when you get adapted to the lag, the jet lag or whatever, then you're out of there. You know what I'm saying? So back in the A, back in the saddle. You know what I'm saying? Oh, why is that one doing that when I do that? Hold on. All right, there we go. So back in the saddle, you know what I'm saying? Ready to rock with y'all. A lot of y'all, I took y'all live. Matter of fact, let me just stop this for a second. Let me give it to you. It is Monday, the 17th of October. She said I look so different. 59 degrees here in Atlanta, Georgia, with a high of 72. And I'm broadcasting live to y'all, man, because I broadcast live to some of y'all. What up, Coach? I broadcasted live to y'all. What up, big bro? My brother Paul in the building. I broadcasted to some of y'all live when I was in Vegas from the concert, so y'all got a chance to check out some of the vibe. I broadcasted some of it from, so I got there Thursday night. Thursday night, we started kicking it. I think that some of y'all saw the stripper and all of the events that went down on Thursday night were crazy. On Saturday, I appreciate that, Mosin. Mosin just brought a badge on IG. I appreciate that. Anita Baker killed it. So I know y'all heard about it. I know y'all saw it. But in person, Anita Baker is such a sweet lady with a strong grip. When she shook my hand, she almost broke my wrist. But she was amazing. Her whole vibe, we had to keep it a secret. What up? I flew back a little bit early yesterday. I was actually supposed to be getting in this morning, which threw everything off. The whole, my schedule was real kind of crazy. But yeah, she was such a vibe and such an inspiration. That just her being there and singing happy birthday to him and then singing it the way that she did was so Anita Bakerish. I don't know if any of y'all caught the clips of that, but that was lit when she sang it that way. But there were so many other surprises. So many people showed up. I'll give y'all like a quick recap. You know what I mean? So flew out on the late flight on Thursday, get to Vegas. And immediately, we just have enough time to throw our luggage in our room. I showed y'all the suite. The suite was amazing. Oh my God, the suite was so dope. Didn't make no sense. We stayed at the Wynn, but the event was happening at Nomad over at MGM, Park MGM. So we get over to Park MGM, and immediately the party was already going. We got there at the right time though. We probably got there around 11:30, you know what I'm saying, 12. And y'all know if you're going out, if you're gonna go kick it anywhere at any party, like that's the time you want to get there. You don't want to get there super late, but you don't want to be the first one there either. And so when we got there, Chris Brown was already kind of turning up with his folks. Floyd was there chilling. Usher and JD and all them was on, was kind of rocking everything out. And there's clips I've been hearing. I haven't looked, but I've heard there are clips of us all over the internet while the girl is stripping and doing her thing or whatever, which was kind of lit. The drinks were on the house. I crazy as it may seem, I know y'all might think I party crazy, but I don't drink like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, as much as I work out, y'all must be crazy if y'all think I'm gonna, flush that down the toilet by drinking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the Wynn is lit, Christina. Like, it was super, super dope. Ran into one of my champions out there. Came to Rose Petal came to the show on Friday. So, like I said, Thursday totally lit. You know what I'm saying? Kicked it, had a great time that night. We didn't, and right when you think it was over, like anytime you think that the party is over, what up, Chuck? We left there and immediately went to Floyd has a skating rink. Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to Chuck real quick. If y'all have not been on Chuck's page, Chuck has did his apple cider vinegar drink video, which was super dope. You know what I'm saying, and showing his consistency. All the way through to the point where he drank it, and then he showed you the effects of him drinking it later on. So big shout out to Chuck. So as I'm we're at the skating rink. It was cold as I don't know what. That was another thing, man. In my mind, I'm like, yo, how y'all keep it so cold out here? Like it was freezing. When I tell you, like it was Vegas was hot, but man, inside they be keeping that thing freezing. Roxy said, what star or entertainer were you surprised to see? Surprised to see. I'm never really surprised to see anybody especially at his shows. I met everybody, you name it, you know what I'm saying? From Shaquille O'Neal to Diana Ross to Lionel Richie to, Lionel was probably one of the most, when I saw him and got a chance to chop it up with him, all his wisdom was really cool because, what up, Sonny? Because he's a songwriter and producer, it was really cool. Only person missing who I just seen check in on my Instagram was Carl, man. We had a good time in lieu of, you know what I'm saying? Issa Rae was at the show. I got a picture with Issa, Paul. She was at the show. What up, Letitia? On YouTube. You got your book. That's what's up. Woo, woo. Yeah, Letitia got her book. Yeah. For those of you who want to order the book, I'm gonna put it up here on Instagram. I'm gonna pin it on Instagram on my live. But yeah, so yeah, Issa was at the last show. She was at the Saturday show, and he pulled her on stage and he sang to her or whatnot. But she's so cool, you know what I'm saying? She is just as chill as you guys have seen her on TV. She was just as chill. I know, Carl, man. All we was talking about was like, yo, Carl, gotta figure it out. We wish you was there, man. So you were missed. Well, I know who to pass my music. Yeah. So Issa Rae was there, which was super dope for Saturday show. But on Friday's show was the one that you guys see us on TMZ, where they invited us all on stage. Well, not they. Well, Ush was like, yo, all my day ones, you know what I'm saying? And so Divine Stevens, Polo the Don, his little brother J-Lac, Keith the Beef, myself, Floyd Mayweather, Chris Brown, I said that, and then YK Osiris, and a couple other people. We were all on the stage. Yeah. So if you guys type in Usher's birthday on TMZ, y'all see us all on stage. I had on the Adidas Fit. What up, Shelly? I had on the Adidas Fit, the custom joint overalls that was on stage, but I was like the fourth from the right. So I was like the fourth person from the right. But there are other shots of us. Like I said, somebody's got, I think TMZ also posted us at the party on Thursday night. But Friday night, that show was crazy. And then the after party, let me think. The after party was wild. It's at this, it was like a club that had like 3 different rooms that was jamming, different stuff. But when us showed up, the whole club, converged into one spot. And then everything kind of took off from there. Yep, I see you, Chuck. I appreciate the badge on Instagram, Chuck. So Friday, it was one of those vibes. You know what I'm saying? Zena, I got a book that I wrote called Social Digital Billionaire Talk, Social Digital Currency. I'll put the link up here, right there. What up, Chrissy Chris? But yeah, man, so the whole weekend, right? So the whole weekend, the first night was lit, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, because we just jumped into things. Friday is when everything started coming into play in terms of jet lag and all that. Like, I'm still a little jet lag now because I came right back into it, you know what I mean? So Saturday was a vibe. Saturday went and did some shopping. I actually went live with y'all on Saturday. For those of you who tuned in, y'all saw us. I think y'all caught us at the Balenciaga store, picking up some stuff. But what was it, Balenciaga, and then we hit up Neiman's and grabbed some stuff. But did a little shopping. I went live. What up, Joetta? Live from Dallas. We went a few different places like that, and then the show on Saturday had Issa Rae. She was up front chilling, and got pulled on stage. And that was that, man. It seemed long at the time, you know what I mean? Which means that we really got a chance to capitalize on all the moments. That's kind of the thing that I be trying to do, man. When you're out and about, you know, don't be so involved with the camera work. Although I was able to manage to do both. The vlog that I'm gonna post on YouTube once I put it together, it's gonna be super dope. Which I got to do it. I'm gonna have to be very expeditious about it. Because like I took a lot of really, really dope footage, and you'll see the footage. Excuse me, rocks. There can be a little bit, you know, it could be a little bit of that sauce. You know what I'm saying? But y'all see the footage of the show, you know, where we were on stage. I actually have that from our perspective of being on stage, looking at all the fans and all the people who were excited about us being there. I do have my apple cider vinegar drink ready for those of you who are preparing your drink to get your, you know, get your healthy side of life sorted out. I know a lot of people, you know, over the weekend, hopefully you guys were as consistent as I was. I actually had my homeboy buy me this stuff before I came out there to LA. You know, he was reluctant to do it. Listen, I want y'all to understand that everybody's not going to be on board, right? And I realize that. Like, I realize that as you take your journey, make sure you guys on YouTube, by the way, are hitting the like button over there while you're on YouTube, and make sure you guys are sharing and hitting the like button here on TikTok. But what you realize is that you are on what up, Amelia? Amelia was there too. She was kicking it. She always is in the place to be. Check it. Although we have a huge community here on TikTok and on my other Instagram and on YouTube, let me tell y'all, this journey of health and wellness is yours. First and foremost, it's yours. Happy Monday to you too, Amelia. It's your journey, right? And I want to say that to y'all because I know that we love and we appreciate community, but man, you'll realize like people who say they want to break through and you know, who need the breakthrough, they're always on the end of negativity or lack of support or putting themselves in a position for the change that they say they want. So what I want to applaud y'all right now, because we've cultivated a community, right? We've cultivated a community of doers. You guys are always in action. You guys are always showing up and doing the work. And that's the thing that keeps me going. When he kind of, you know, when one of my people kind of was throwing shade a little bit, like, you know how people say those words that with your little drink, and you know what I'm saying? Okay, WJ, I mean, I got the formula is easy. I don't have it on this phone. Either tune in on TikTok and I'll put it up there. Let me put the formula up on this one right quick so everybody has it. But what it is, man, is you be like, yo, you need this. You know what I mean? Like, you see what it's doing and how it's functioning and the vibe on it. You need this. And the challenge is that people don't. You got to be more of a doer than a talker. You got to walk more than you talk. It discourages me, especially the people who need the results don't do the kind of walking. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Do that. More people should do more walking than talking, and it's easy to do. And creating a community like the ones that we created, where you're hearing and seeing the results. What up, Jackie? You're seeing and hearing the results from all these different individuals who are being consistent. There's no way that you should be turning away from your opportunity to change your life. And that bothers me because we all have that. We all have someone in our lives who's trying to show you, what up, Miss Kitchen? Trying to show you how to get to where you're trying to get to. And our stubbornness or our pride or whatever it is, our envy, whatever it is, we got to remove those things out of our way so that we can accomplish the goals that we're trying to accomplish. It's such a shame that our success is on the other side of the first step, you know what I mean, or the second step to take, and people just play themselves. What up, Donald? What up, Miss Kitchen? Yeah, it's been a minute. That's on you. I've been here, baby. I've been here. But that's the thing that I've noticed. So I want y'all to be encouraged that us being here and being consistent is one of those things that you know, is singular but also community. Shelly on my YouTube says, little is much in the master's hand, period. It's all about good health. Absolutely, man. In order for us to be able to walk the walk and talk the talk. You got to do the work. And by doing the work, you feel great. Chrissy said, I talk about being healthy all the time. Now that people in bad health, they want to jump on. And I know she said they want to jump on the bandwagon. And we're gonna find that, right? And that's not a bad thing. And that's what we have to show a lot of grace. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we gotta show, that kind of grace. Where you're welcome, Artsy. Yeah, and the braids are flicking, Miss Kitchen. It's always that thing. If you find yourself always being in the position where you have to be the better person, you know how to always say you got to be the better person. You gotta stand in that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, that's a really, really hard place to be, but it's not a place that you can't manage and that you should always really represent, right? I'm one of those people who look at life like this, right? People are gonna do things to you. They are. People are gonna say stuff and everything. The key is to not become them. Do not become a hypocrite. Do not become what you despise. That's one of my favorite quotes out of this movie called The Count of Monte Cristo. That's one of my takeaways. Do not become what you despise. Do not become a hypocrite. If there's somebody who says something or does something to you, no, you don't go back and do that or do anything like that, because if you had the kind of disdain that you say that you have for that situation, then you got to understand, you shouldn't put yourself in a position to now make it okay. Just because you do it now doesn't make it okay. One of the things that bothers me is hypocrites. Those who ridicule one and then go back and do what they ridiculed the person about. It's a crazy dynamic, but so many people do it. It's also a part of this book, and I hate mentioning this book, but there's a book called, and you guys have heard it, or most of you have heard of this book, and it was a bestseller, but it was called The 48 Laws of Power. And whenever I discuss it, I also preface by saying to me, it's a very evil book. You know what I mean? Like it's not the kind of book that you want good people to read. You know what I mean? Because it gives you such all the ways that these dictators and all these people in history have undermined people with these techniques. I could tell y'all one just as simple. But make sure you guys are hitting the like button, sharing the rooms, sharing the lives, but hitting those like buttons. A quick example of the hypocrisy of life. I don't know if you guys remember an artist named Ja Rule. There was a guy named Ja Rule who came out and he was singing all his hooks, you know what I'm saying? Along with Ashanti. He was singing everything he performed. What up, Lady Kiki? And in doing that, what up, Reba Films? And in doing that, another guy came out after him named 50 Cent. And 50 Cent started clowning him for singing all his hooks. And he ridiculed him and he went in on him to the point where Ja Rule was an afterthought, that people thought it was funny. He was like, oh man, that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then shortly after, 50 Cent released almost everything he had. I'm about you now, you know what I'm saying? You window shopper. Everything he was doing was singing. I was like, yo, that's such a hypocritical statement, but it's also one of the 48 laws of power. Yeah, he destroyed his career, Mad Jax, by imploring, he made it whack to sing, and then he turned around and did it himself. And that's one of the 48 laws of power. And, also it lends itself to that hypocritical conversation that I'm telling y'all about. So you got to be mindful that people will ridicule you for what you're doing only so that they can assume the position that you're in. I did enjoy myself, Brenda. I had an amazing time. So that's why, you got to be steadfast in your journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, Ja Rule should have brushed it off and kept it moving. What he did was working. And he was in the forefront of it. But a lot of times when you're not secure in your position, yeah, they both were good, Rocks. I don't take anything away from either one of them. Only that Ja Rule should have, he should have stayed. He should have stayed the course. He had an identity crisis because of that. What up, Red Baby? He had an identity crisis, and that was, to me, the greatest part of his downfall is he allowed somebody to use a hypocritical tactic, and he should have came back and said that. I would have exposed it. I'd have been like, yo, you clown me for singing, but listen to your voice. You are singing everything. You know what I'm saying? And then what? Then make him to be on the defense. Make him defend his position. Make him say, yo, I'm flattered, bro. Yeah, they did. You stupid, man. Mad Jackson's funny. So you got to be mindful of that. There are going to be people out there in your lives that are going to be trying to put things and implement these different conversations that are going to change your situation. I fell victim to it as well. Somebody said something to me at a point in my career where my career was going pretty good, but as an artist, it was new territory for me as an artist. And someone said something to me that made me think about the magic that I had created. Listen, let me be the first to tell y'all, do not try to identify the magic. Do not try to identify the magic. Whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your job, whether it's in something else that you got going on, do not try to identify the magic. The magic is what it is. It's mystifying. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel a certain way, and there's this thing to it. Yes, it can be effective without the honey gammy. And that's what you want, right? Too many times we get in a relationship. What up, Dula? We get into a relationship and we try to figure it out. Why is this that? You know what I'm saying? Why do I feel this way? And da-da-da. And the magic is in the fact that you don't know what's going on and that it feels great and that you're enjoying yourself. That's the part that's exciting. The fact that you're in a moment and you have no control over it or whatever, that's the exciting part. The minute that you start taming or trying to shape these things that are supposed to be mystical and mystifying and magical, you know, that's the challenge. You know what I mean? That's the part that makes life hard. Cause you want to know the magic. There's a magic trick that I do with a deck of cards that I don't tell people how to do it because I understand the moment I tell you how it's done, it loses its mysticism. If that's a word, I'm gonna make it up. It's called mysticism. It loses that allure. It loses that thing that makes you say, "Oh my God, that was really special. That was really dope. You got me." Everything you do doesn't need to be explained, man. And once you guys recognize that, you're gonna enjoy so much of your life. You're gonna enjoy so many of the things that happen that you don't have control over and that really make it exciting. You don't have to control everything. What you do have to do is enjoy it, though. And if you're enjoying it, this is what I always say, man. If I'm enjoying something, I don't want to know why I'm enjoying it. I just want to just keep enjoying it. Please just make it last. You know what I'm saying? Those moments are so fleeting that for me to spend time trying to figure it out, I'm taking out time away from being in it, from enjoying it, from loving it, from being a part of it. We try to be investigators of so many things, and I am too. I'm a researcher, and I'm a person who digs into crates. I'm a person who wants to know how something works. But I learned early on that I don't want to know why I like somebody. Let me just keep liking them. Let me just keep enjoying that part. What up, Deech? I don't need to know why I like you. I just need to know. I just love, and when somebody asks why you like somebody, what up, Lucia? When somebody said why you like somebody, I'd be like, man, I don't even know. I just know I do. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that for whatever it is, that it continues. I don't need to have, know everything. Just let me keep liking you. And on your part, the other person that's in the other seat, don't try to explain why it's, man, the craziest thing is for somebody to try to explain why you like them. No, I know why she with me. She with me because of this, that, another. What? Really? You ain't got all the answers, Sway. You ain't got all the answers. Nor should you want them when it comes to, something of that nature. You just really want to maintain. You know what I'm saying? What up, Maddie? You want it to last, and you want it to grow, and you want it to stay that way. You know what I'm saying? And the consistency in it, which we all, is we live for. What up, Venus? The consistency is what we all live for, is having the ability to maintain something that we like, but we want it to grow. I don't want y'all to be stagnant. I don't want you to sit there and be like consistently just mundane all of a sudden. You want to grow, like with every and anything that you do, but you want to grow slowly as well, to some degree. Depending on who you're with and what the situation is, you don't want to burn out. You do want to be consistent. You do want to master the art of that consistency so that y'all can be on that same plateau. But then hopefully that magic creates an environment of growth where y'all, start growing together, where it starts building. And that's kind of, let's make it last in my Keith Sweat voice. That's funny, Amelia. You want to, what up, Jalissa? You want to do it, you just want to keep the magic. I always try to speak to couples, you know what I mean? And this is for everybody on this live right now. You all are, I'm sure most of you are 18 or over or whatnot. Y'all should talk to these adults that y'all see in these relationships. Y'all should talk to even the single ones sometimes, just to get an understanding of like, yo, why it didn't work out for you? What was it? What was you trying to do that didn't work out? What up, Hummingbird? And then for others, you say, yo, for those couples that have lasted through time, just say, what is it? Y'all need to at least ask what was it that made y'all stay together? And I'm sure the answer will be like, shoot, I don't know. And what you don't like about yourself, they probably love that. Yeah. A lot of times, Zena, when people we will get in our own way. We will get in our own way. You know what I'm saying? We will try to fix something that never needed to be fixing, and instead of letting it go, especially at the point of somebody else appreciating it. I spoke with somebody recently, and they were like, they were going to, I think they said something about going to get Invisalign. And I was like, that's cool. Nothing's wrong with your smile now. But I understand you have an inner need to deal with something that you've been dealing, that you probably dealt with all your life as a kid or whatever the case may be. Beautiful smile on this person. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Amelia says she asks all the questions, and when they adore your flaws, at that point, you got to be able to release it. You know what I'm saying? Like, too many times we hold on to things that are a metric that are self-made up in ourselves. And ultimately, you just got to let it go, especially when it's being appreciated and adored by somebody that you like. You know what I'm saying? When somebody that you care about is in position to to influence your highs and lows, that's the part. You know what I'm saying? That's part of it. But you got to talk to adults. You got to talk to people who've experienced it. You know what I'm saying? Whether they've succeeded in your book or failed in your book, it's worth the conversation just to hear the mindset, because it's all about relating. And you won't learn everything on your own. A lot of us try to do that. A lot of us try to get into relationships, and then we try to figure it out in the relationship. I'd be like, yo, don't you got some friends? Don't you got anybody to talk to? I need you to talk to some people. I need you to speak with somebody who's going to help you understand, like, the way you're thinking without having that kind of background or education in it. That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not it. I've had to ask within a relationship before. I had to say, does that work? Like, when someone is trying to implement a new idea or try to bring something new to the table or whatnot, I'd be like, does that work? Or has that worked? Have you done that with anybody else prior to me? Or am I a guinea pig? Are you trying something new with me without it being something proven that worked? And if so, if you see that it's not working, why won't you let it go faster? And that's one of those things where people start pushing their ideas without looking at the results. Ask the Black, if it doesn't have the mother, that's not going to be the apple cider vinegar that you want. Again, the one that's listed up above is for that reason, because we know it works. I can't guarantee the other one. But that's the whole point, man. We all want to bump our heads up against against the wall. And the crazy part of it is those of us who have really experienced things and have taken the lesson from it, we get then it might be good. Then Asta, if it has the mothers, then you should be good to go. When we try to take away, we get into these situations, we try to make our own determinations of how they should go. and we're with somebody else who has already been through that challenge, man, can you imagine? It's some people enjoy watching reruns, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to when it comes to things that are negative that have happened in your life, I don't know if you want that rerun. I don't know if you want to go through that again. I thought that was the whole point of it. I thought the whole point of what we were dealing with was to learn the lesson, get the blessing, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So that, that's why a lot of times some of y'all are victim of this. I mean, not really victim, but it's some of y'all on here, y'all have been the catalyst for the person to get married to somebody after you. If you've been that person, if one of you have been one of those people who have dated somebody and then after you got through dating them, they married somebody else, clap your hand or put a high five up or do something. Put up an emoji so I can see who it is. Cause you've been a lesson to somebody and a blessing to somebody else. You have trained an individual to be better for somebody else than they were with you. Yeah, Red Fox, Asta, yup. We can't really have a magic formula for relationship. The subjective nature of them comes from connection between two individuals. Yeah, there isn't a formula. It's just magic. You know what I'm saying? There is no formula, Lucia. It's just the magic of it all. And when we start trying to figure it out, that's when we start going south. But most of us have, Ruth, if you go up next to my name, see what happens when you hit the subscribe button and then see what options it gives you. But I appreciate that. Alpha, what up? We've been the catalyst for the success of another relationship. And I've kind of tempered the way I think about that, right? A lot of times we are in situations where we are telling the person all the things they're doing wrong. And maybe just restart the app, Ruth. All the things we're doing wrong, all the things that person is doing wrong. Like we're really educating them on how to fix their flaws. They just don't like us enough to do it while they're with us. Now that might be hard to swallow, but it's still I think that's a good bite to eat. A lot of those people don't respect or like you enough to make the change while they're with you. So they make the change after it. I know a lot of people in here. Oh my God. I know it's a lot of people in here who have been victim to that. I know there's a lot of people who have been victim to watching the person that they was with become the person you wanted them to be while they were with you and have moved on and have become that person for somebody else. I know it. I know I've done it. I know I've watched girls or young ladies or women go and get married after dating me. And I'm not saying that I put them through a whole lot. It's just one of those situations where if I wasn't ready, you know what I'm saying, and they were, and they had, they find out all the things about themselves while they're with you. Like you're really the training ground for, for the next love of their life, which is cool. Like that's a compliment if you ask me. That's a compliment for you to be the catalyst for their next relationship. But I was like, I remember talking to somebody where I was like, yo, I'm not telling nobody what they doing all the wrong stuff with me so that they can keep doing that wrong stuff with somebody else. And let's see. I know that's wrong, but I was like, yo, I'm gonna let them keep that bad trait. Take that with you. You made me suffer all this time. I'm not telling you nothing. You're perfect. Just go, but we just don't work. We're perfect. We just don't work. You just go ahead and go on without me. I'm like, I know what y'all saying.
It don't make no motherfucking sense.
I know it's wrong, you know what I'm saying? But when I think back, I do realize I've done that. Yes, Sonny, I did put them on game a lot. And you have to be mindful of that you may be training the person for the next relationship. Yeah, that's the faces right there. Red Baby and Sonny. That's it right there in a nutshell. Lucia said, yes, happened to me. 23 years with my husband, and I wanted to take dance lessons together. So he did it once we were divorced with someone else. Wow. Wow, Lucia. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what we end up doing. We end up putting these people in position, by the things that we discuss. we tell them, hey, listen, if you were more handy, Red Fox said the person that got married after dating me married the person they were cheating on me with. It didn't last. Yeah, because the part of the allure, Red, was the fact that they were cheating. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they were doing something that was forbidden, that they were doing something they shouldn't have been doing, and that was part of the allure. And when that allure was gone, when she finally had all of that person, when she had all of him, it wasn't quite the same, because there's a there's that conversation about wanting something you're not supposed to have. There's a greater heightened sense of being that goes along with it. So that's that. You know what I mean? Red Baby say she experienced that same thing. Yeah. No, I mean, but there was a lesson in all that. Red, I'm sure he learned a lesson in all that. You know what I'm saying? Amelia said lust versus love. Woo! I think you got to have both, but they have to be aimed at the same person. You know what I mean? You want to, I don't know I don't know if the word is lust towards the person that you love, but if there is going to be lust, may you lust after that person. May you have a desire that's never ending for that person, Amelia. You know what I'm saying? I had a conversation with, matter of fact, Amelia was out in Vegas as well. And Amelia, there was a, love includes lust, sure does. Amelia, there was a, I forget which one of those dancers. I know you, the one dancer that had the long braids, she just got married. And the advice I gave her, some of you guys have heard me give this advice in this live before. But I told her, don't make someone's wants become needs. Did y'all hear what I said? Don't make somebody's wants become needs. For anybody getting into a relationship, don't make somebody's wants become needs. Zena says, well, why should I groom you for the next person? I'm working on myself, and you figured out time is something you don't get back. That's right. Believe the signs. Yeah. Your time is one of the most valuable commodities you have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the realest thing I can tell you is as you're in Zena's words, as you're grooming these people, y'all know too, man. Y'all know when somebody got one foot out the door. At that moment, y'all should shut up. Like real talk, just shut up. Don't say nothing else about their behavior. You know, you already know the relationship is going, it's headed towards the doorway, and they don't want to do anything to improve. Everything you do after knowing that is you grooming them for somebody else. Everything, every complaint, and you're gonna want to complain a lot. You're gonna want to say a lot. You sorry, this and that. You don't never dot. You just, that person is soaking all that stuff up in. If they ain't never listened to nothing before in your relationship, they're listening to you give them the blueprint to change. They're absolutely listening to that part. But the advice that I gave this young lady who had just got married, and this goes for everybody, is don't make somebody's wants become needs. What up, Diana? Good morning. Don't make somebody's wants become needs means this. If I enjoyed, I'm going to say something simple. If I enjoyed, rubbing your back or rubbing your head, like I like when my braids are out, I like my head, it's called scritched. It's a little scratch, but it's a lot of rub. I love that. Like that, you could do that in an argument and we won't argue no more. Like, I ain't no argument after that. If I'm getting scritched, we ain't got nothing to argue about. If you're doing that, I'm good to go. But the problem then becomes when I say, hey, scritch my head. And you scritch it, or if I say scratch my head and you don't do it, and I have a problem with it. That's when it becomes a problem. Because something that you enjoy doing, whether it be selfishly you enjoy doing it, or whether you enjoy doing it because you saw how I responded and how I reacted, it was something you enjoyed doing, and it wasn't a requirement as a part of us being happy in this relationship together. Now you're taking, thanks, Keytroy. Now you're taking something I enjoyed doing and making it a function of our relationship, or a requirement of our relationship when it comes to being happy. And that part undermines that free will to do something that you enjoy doing. So now the thing that I desired to do, because it was my little thing I did, it was my little thing to make you happy. It's that little thing to make you smile. Now I have to do it. If y'all don't know what resentment feels like, you will after that. If y'all don't know how resentment is built, you'll understand it's built off the heels of somebody changing a dynamic, that you enjoyed and then making it almost like a punishment. How you gonna be mad at something that I brought to the table that you wasn't even on? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I see that as one of those things that undermines a lot of people in their relationship, is that they create oh, you didn't do this. Oh, you didn't do that. But when I was doing it, it was a choice, wasn't it? Like, wasn't that an elective? Wasn't that an elective? Didn't I have a choice in the matter? Now I don't have a choice in the matter. You know what I mean? Yeah, Deech. I mean, I've seen it all too much. I've been a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And I realized, like, yo, you've changed my want. Listen, man, that's one of the hardest things to ever overcome. Because a person doesn't feel, you know what I mean? Yeah, Red, that is how toxic relationships begin. You start resenting that other person for not seeing you the way you were, as in terms of how you enjoy doing something. That's why there's a lot of resentment in the workplace. The workplace has a ton of resentment because there are people who are doing jobs that they don't fully enjoy doing. And that's cool, but it's at your discretion that you do it. The minute they start putting it where all these different things in the mix, and now these are have-tos, like you bring something to the table at your job now that was kind of like something that you created. They start making it something you have to do, and then you be like, yo, but I just made this up. You know what I mean? I just flipped the script on it so I would enjoy the job more. Now you're making it so I don't have to do this all the time. And that's one of the things, like, when I'm coaching, my homies in their relationships, I have to manage, like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Like, one of my homeboys asked me this weekend, right? Excuse me. One of my homeboys, a friend of ours flew out to the show, and it ain't even that. There's a situation where you have to temper what you do and how you do it and how soon you do it. I know we get excited, we want to rush in, we want to kick it right away, we want to do all these different things, but man, patience is the key to success. Like, having the right kind of patience at the right time, knowing when to ebb and flow is everything. So there's a situation where we want to move fast. You know what I mean? We want to jump in, but all signs say take your time, walk slow, get to know somebody. She said, Deech said, me too, coming out of this dynamic now, and this is not a romantic relationship. It was a friendship. It's not the level of entitlement some friends can have. Yeah, you want to put things in perspective, right? Some of the best relationships you're ever going to have are going to be the ones that actually take time to develop, because you really get a chance to see everything about that person. And too many times when we rush in, now I'm not saying this, listen, I don't want to be the one who says you can't do things quickly, but I do want to say that comes with a certain level of maturity as well. For those people who like to get intimate quickly, you have to make sure that the other person that you're with has a certain level of maturity that doesn't undermine their freedom, their willingness to be free that way, to make those kind of choices. Because sometimes when you guys get out there and y'all cut the fool quickly, I don't think I put honey in this. I'm sorry, I just had a my mind just went somewhere. I was like about to drink my drink and I thought I didn't put any. Sometimes we move so fast that we don't check the maturity level of the people that we're with to get an understanding and a gauge as to, are they capable of handling what's about to happen. Thank you, Lucia. A lot of times we don't pay attention to, this person says that they can handle being intimate on the first night, but truthfully, they're going to stalk the hell out of me after this. Truthfully, they don't understand that this, because we don't know enough about each other. What up, Maria? That I don't want to make this, that this shouldn't have relationship values to it. Anything that's happening that fast, you haven't even built a relationship yet. Amelia says on Instagram, becoming friends first is an extremely valuable aspect of longevity in relationships. Absolutely. And it's also listen, I've learned that of girls that I thought I was interested I know this is wrong, but it's the honest to God truth. And I think a lot of us end up in these situations. Two things either happen the longer you learn, the longer you get to know somebody. Either you say, damn, I dodged a bullet, we're better friends, and I never could have dealt with this stuff if we were in a relationship. Just learning how a person handles and deals with relationships, it helps you change it. D says, I have been friends with this person for years, and people do change or lie about maturity levels. Yep, the sign can be. And so you want to be in a position where you can understand that. Like you got to let people go through stuff. Like if you're really trying to be with somebody, be around them long enough to see them go through stuff so you can see how they handle it. Some people get into a rage when things don't go their way, and you be like, what? I don't know if I want to, is that a dynamic of them just dealing with that person, or is this just how they deal with stuff? Because you got to remember, when you're choosing somebody to be in a relationship with, you're choosing them, not for a moment, but for, a few moments. And you want all those moments to be dope. What up, Teray? But we don't do that. Like, honestly, it takes, to cultivate the kind of relationship you want nowadays, it just takes patience. You should go through seasons with the person. Yeah, Amelia, you should spend enough time to see, all, like you said, those different seasons, those happy moments, those sad moments, those angry moments, those challenging moments. You know what I'm saying? And too many times we railroad that stuff. What up, Miss Mickey? Too many times we railroad it, and we see those everyone in here is a victim of seeing red flags and driving right over them. Y'all all see the stop signs and drive through them. Actually, some of y'all speed up when y'all see them red flags. Some of y'all, change the GPS. Y'all go in and edit the GPS and be like, that ain't really what that mean. What? Yeah, that is what that mean. Yeah, LaTanya, you got to see how they are in different situations come up. We have to appreciate someone as an individual. People grow, and it is important to support that. Absolutely. And you got to be able to, Lucia, if you see someone growing in the opposite direction that you want to go in, that you got to say, hey, man, have at it. Go ahead. That's not the road I'm willing to take. But I don't want to get in the way of your growth and the journey that you're on. Yeah, Teray, I'm in your business a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But we don't do that, right? And yep, Red Baby, a lot of times our heart and our minds are not playing well together. You know what I'm saying? Like, the heart is such a strong dynamic that the mind can't compete. Like, what's in our head, man, and what's in our heart, there's such a challenge. And sometimes we need to let our minds go back to doing the common sense thing that makes sense. Our mind is gonna tell you, hey, this don't look right. This don't look right here, man. And your heart be like, but it feels so good. You know what I mean? What can you do about that, right? But that's where I say, it's good for you. You got to have your support cast around, and you got to trust them. Jeremy says, and it's so easy to fall in love with who you think they can be. Oh my God, we can't talk about the potential. What up, Ush9, Narsha? We can't even get into the conversation about potential. Deech says, we all have red flags though. Would you want someone to diss you for every red flag, or work it out because you can relate? There's a lot to unpack in these situations. True story, but what up, DJ Hollywood? Yeah, there are certain red flags, Deech, that we should really, really run from, because we know that they're habitual, and that they are, some red flags have a continuity to them that are going to undermine your relationship at some point, and then you're going to go back and say, I should have listened to my first head when it told me. What up, Cookie? You know what I'm saying? We should have listened to our first mind. Make sure you guys are sharing and liking these lives and whatnot. If you want, you guys can contribute. You can hit the Cash App, TRXS Now, or you can, what up, Maddie? Matty Andrews in the building, an amazing speaker and motivational person as well. What's up, bro? Good to see you. He has a beautiful family, man. I can't, whenever I see him in the pictures of his family, it's just a beautiful group of people, and it always makes me smile. It's very heartwarming. So I stalk his page occasionally and check out those photos. But yeah, it's different for everybody, Deech, you know, and we got to identify that though. You know what I'm saying? Lucia says one person can't be your everything. Woo! It's all about communicating. Love you back, Maddie. Listen to what Lucia said, because this is really, really huge. One person can't be your everything. It's all about communicating. Listen, man, we all had a community before we met the love of our life. We all had several people that were around us that helped cultivate us into the person that we became. Actually, they helped cultivate the person that you ended up falling for, that you ended up liking. All right, Miss Kitchen, we know it's all gonna go well. Hold on y'all a second. Dear Lord and Heavenly Father, camp your angels out around Miss Kitchen as she goes for this cancer appointment. We know that you're gonna do all the things to, to heal her body and strengthen her. Let her doctors give her nothing but positivity today. Give her great news, Lord Jesus. We know that you have that ability to take away any hurt, harm, or danger from her life. So we're gonna go knowing that you're going to send your messengers of truth and healing into her situation to make sure she's better. And we ask all these things in your name. Amen. All right, Miss Kitchen is going for a cancer appointment. We know how, nerve-wracking that can be. We're going to we're with you and we're giving you strength, Miss Kitchen. Go in there, take your positivity with you and tell your body what you want to have happen and know that it's already happening. But yeah, we gotta, we have to remember that we had a community. A lot of times we get on an island. That's what we call it. We get on an island. We'll meet somebody and then we'll distance ourselves from the very people who helped us become who we were that this person is liking. Ain't that crazy? We strip ourselves of the very support system. We strip ourselves from the very support system that helped build us up to become the person that the people love us for. So then we find that we're so far away from that person. Think about that. If it worked like this, and this is how it works, just so y'all understand, this is how it works. You meet somebody, right? Y'all out kicking it and you meet somebody, you with your people, they with their people, and you meet somebody. And then it doesn't have to even be that dynamic of everybody's there. But say, for instance, that's how most situations happen. Y'all meet and they see you as this lively person. What up, Crystal? They see you as this energetic person. They're like, yo, that person seems so interesting. I would love to be around them. I want to find out more. Y'all exchange numbers. Y'all start hanging out and you're not picking up your homeboys' calls. Y'all not returning your homegirls' calls. Y'all not even hanging out with them as much. Oh, no, y'all can't come. I'm going to be with such and such. What up, Latrice? And you start diluting the essence of what you had in the first place that attracted this person. It was the community that you had around you that helped you be that fool, that helped you be that educator, that helped you be that less stressed out person that you could talk to about anything, that you shot the breeze with. Now you don't have that. You've distanced them. You put them on, you've done effectively what we call getting on an island, meaning you've separated yourself from the rest of civilization, but yet you're trying to maintain who you are, not recognizing that your community of people are the ones who helped you be more consistent of who you were. They helped you be the person that the other person fell in love with. Now you've taken that away, and guess what? You don't have the fortitude to maintain that completely by yourself. A lot of us are who we are because of the people and the things around us. But if we don't nurture those things, if we don't include those things, then we lose some of that. And then the person that you're with starts saying, who are you? Because there was a person I met. And listen, y'all, I'm telling you, that first meeting, that beginning stages, woo, that beginning is something else. That beginning becomes law. If y'all don't know it, that beginning becomes law. Fellas, Fellas, do this. No, well, don't do this because you're gonna not. The outcome ain't gonna be what you want. But if you were to buy a girl a rose every day for 2 weeks, and then you didn't buy her one on the third week, she gonna ask you what happened. What did I? She gonna her self-conscious. I mean, she gonna be self-conscious. She gonna be like, what did I do that he won't send, that he didn't send me a rose this week, or what is going on with him that he didn't send me a rose? Ms. Mickey said you would need that community when you're going through things, especially when it's with the person you stopped talking to them for. Absolutely. And there you go. Teray said it right there. Ooh, that's such a hot topic. That's right. Don't start nothing you ain't gonna finish. But when do you finish, Teray? If I'm buying you, what it is, and you're right. Don't implement things that you are not going or can't be consistent at. That's such a hard thing for men because men come into a situation trying to do what for y'all ladies? What do we try to do? What do most men try to do when they come into a relationship with you? Ladies, what is it something that men do when we trying to holler at y'all? What we doing? What are we doing when we try to holler at y'all, ladies? I need somebody to say something to me. Talk to me. Because it's the very thing that is the and I don't want to say downfall. It's one of the challenges in a relationship after we do it. Come on, I need some feedback. There you go, Latrice. Woo, Latrice, you already know. Look at Latrice. Latrice, first time out the thing, she just hit it from the 3-point. Go ahead, Steph Curry with the 3. She said, we try to impress you. Yep, Maria said it too. Cater, finesse, impress. Julian said impress. Yep, we try to impress you. And so what happens when we try to do that? Most fellas go beyond their ability to be consistent. They go beyond their ability to be consistent. Yep. So yeah, we can take you out every day for 2 weeks. And this is why when I watch those dating shows, I'd be like when you watch Bachelor and all that, and Bachelor be setting these fools up for failure. I promise you. They put them up in a mansion. Well, the person that they with ain't got no goddamn, excuse my language. The person they're with doesn't have a mansion. Let's start there. Then they take them on all these exotic things. They go horseback riding. They go mountain climbing. They go skydiving. They do all these things that they would never do or can't afford to continue to do on a regular basis. So already they're setting themselves up for failure. They set the bar too. Ooh, LaTanya, what? Say that 10 times. They set the bar too high for themselves, trying to impress someone who most of you young ladies are like, I didn't need all that. I just needed you to be yourself. And fellas are like, but the representative is so cool. I got to compete with the dope boys. I got to compete with the athletes. I got to compete with the entertainers. I got to compete with da-da-da-da-da. And that's what it be, man. Y'all, a lot of times guys feel like women want, and I can't even front. Women do want it. There's a certain amount of security that's when a woman sees a dude balling out of control, they see the financial security, but they don't see the insecurity that comes along with a lot of those guys. Most women find out a little bit later that they should have went with the guy who wasn't as flashy, who wasn't as putting his business out there like that so much, because there's a security that comes along with a guy who could be themselves without having to do all that. Oh my God, I would tell my husband, I didn't need material things. I need him. Yep. As you said, those daily roses become a need. Yeah, that's the challenge. I tell dudes, hey man, be yourself straight up, right from the gate. And if she don't like you, she ain't the one. Ladies, be yourself right out the gate. If he don't like you, no matter how much you think you want to be liking him, he ain't the one. That's what's up, Teray. There you go, Teray. That's what I'm talking about. Teray said we doing good. I took the other road, the road less traveled. We're doing good. But that's important. Yeah, it's important. I try to tell y'all, as much as you can, try to get the representative out of the way as quickly as possible so you can make a better decision about who you're going to be with. Because when y'all see the fugaziness, y'all hate the fact that they didn't give you a choice. And even that in itself is is bad because it's almost like calling you stupid. You can't handle me at who I am regularly, and that's why I can show up and kick it and do whatever on a regular basis, and I enjoy life the way I do because I'm just who I am. If you don't like it, that isn't, you're not. Some people are supposed to like it. Some people are supposed to, and some people aren't. Same here as my husband. No, I don't have trouble. I don't have to have material things to be happy, for sure. And that's in most cases. Like, a lot of us don't need all that. And Miss Mickey said it right. I don't want your representative. I want you. But society doesn't teach people how to be themselves. They teach them what other people like. Point blank, period. And that's why we have to educate. We educate each other, but you want to have people around you who going to say, bro, that ain't it, bro. Like, if you really want that, man, if you really want to holler at old girl, it has nothing to do with your bank account. It shouldn't. So first off, and that's why you see some guys try to downplay their success to see if a woman will be with them without anything. And even that is wrong, because that's not the life she's going to have by being with you, especially if, what up, Chrissy Beauty? Especially if you are of an upper echelon, like if you are more successful than others. Then if you are more successful and that's your life, introduce her to your life. And then you'll see if she can handle that or if she can't handle that, or her perspective on it. Is it harder to find love when you're successful? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I've got one word for you: prenuptial. Tuffy. Most people don't do prenuptials because it undermines trust. You know what I'm saying? That's why most people don't do prenuptials. Is it a great business decision? Yes. It is extremely important, Amelia. Absolutely. Just be honest with your expectations in a relationship. Yes and no, LaTanya, because the challenge for me is having certain expectations, right? I would think to a level it may be harder. Yeah. So for expectations, right? In the beginning, I have none. I don't know you well enough to even put any in place. If you can make me laugh once in a while, if we enjoy being around each other, if you think, if you can communicate, what up, Leah? If you can communicate, that part. Those are the first things that, I'm saying, I want. I have, and exactly, Tanya, expectations can cause disappointment because they're metrics that we set up on a person we don't even know is capable of meeting them. You know what I'm saying? So I tend to, in the beginning, I have no expectations. Welcome to the room, Stephanie. I have no expectations in the beginning other than to have a great time. That's it. I expect to have a great time with someone that I'm drawn to. Now, I say drawn to because it doesn't take a certain look. It doesn't take anything. It just takes a vibe. I could be in a room full of all beautiful women, but I'll only be led to talk to or communicate with one because that's just how my frequency is set up. Like, I'm attracted to people not just from exterior looks, but from the interior of their frequency and their soul. And from there, I trust my instincts. My instincts is on point. I have amazing friends. I have amazing friendships. What up, Maestro? I have great relationships with people based off of my instincts. Yeah, LaTanya, like for guys, conversation for guys who really want something sustainable is high on the list. For guys who want to just, who are moving freely, who just want to kick it, you've seen it. Most of these girls, especially when dating celebrities, seem as if, it's very far in between that you find one who really has all of those tools, meaning a great conversation. They look amazing. They're healthy, and they're not super duper vain. You know what I'm saying? Those that's hard to come by. Usually they're not great communicators, and those are the reasons why when people be looking at people that they think are really beautiful and be wondering why they step out or whatnot, it's that little piece that be missing. Like, most times it's conversation, it's not looks. Like, most times the looks are always going to be there on the person that they're with. It's not the looks, it's the communication. People really step out more so for communication than they ever do for looks. I'm just saying. Like, you don't walk away from somebody, or I mean, you don't add anybody to your mix because of looks. It's because you realize you can have good looks but be empty. You can have great looks and just not have sustainability. You don't have substance. I mean, it is what it is, and that's why you see a lot of successful men, and intelligent men dating women that lack substance, because they don't want to have those conversations either. And it's a messed up place to be in. They'll choose one girl to be with because she's fine and everything, but she got the dullest conversation ever in life. And it's so superficial that it's crazy. And then the women that they really enjoy being around with challenge them mentally. You know what I mean? They challenge them. They intrigue them. Amelia says, I get approached a lot on the fact that I don't wear much makeup and don't show a whole lot of skin. Yeah, because that's out there, Amelia. And usually, and Amelia, you're a thinker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're smart. So that part, and you're a conversationalist. Like, you come around, Amelia, and you're a bright spot. Like, you're always lit. Like, you're always, I've not seen you, and I don't know if you, I don't get that you're holding anything. I think that you're just beautiful on the inside and out, and you're always having a great time. You always bring people with a warm embrace, and you lift people up. So for most people is more endearing than, sitting up here dating America's Next Top Model or anything like that, who's wearing all that makeup, who's doing all these superficial things to mask the fact that what's going on the inside doesn't measure up. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I know it's not challenging, but I hope that even my kind words and my embrace back to you and my excitement to always see you helps put back into you whatever may be missing. You know what I'm saying? Red Fox said, I attracted a guy for that reason too. Said, girls that show everything leave nothing to the imagination. Yeah. Now, that for longevity, most men don't celebrate women who share themselves with a lot of people, whether it be from a physical standpoint of just being promiscuous, or whether it's from the standpoint of they just don't, they show everything. And it takes a strong dude to even be, it's so many layers to that. What up, DJ Dub? There's so many layers to, who you be with and, your strength to do it. A lot of dudes pick women who are out there, showing all these different, showing, what up, Coffee, who wear revealing or tight clothes and all those kind of things, but they can't manage it, so they start they become, like, those situations be volatile. They become controlling. You can't wear this, you can't wear that. Well, shoot, you met her wearing that. Was she supposed to change? She wore it. She didn't wear that. Most women don't wear clothes per se to catch a man. They wear it because it makes them feel great, confident about the way they've kept themselves up, confident about the way the fabric feels and or how it looks on them, but they love the way it feels. And we give ourselves too much credit, and so they get into situations where with men who can't handle that. When I tell y'all, when I hit that button, I say,
You can't handle the truth.
That's what it be. Finding somebody secure enough to deal with, not only your physical traits, but being able to manage and maneuver around you mentally. We were taught growing up that women were just smarter than us. Men, we were taught that women are going to learn faster than us, and and I agree on most situations, women just get it faster than we do. So you guys live with those things longer than we do. But to the challenge with that is y'all are also very passionate about things to a point that undermines the logic sometimes. So when we want to have a logical conversation, a lot of it falls into an emotional debate or an emotional conversation, and that's not in the context of most conversations. Like, most conversations are not emotional. In fact, they should be more logical than emotional, and if they are, then it makes life easier to communicate because it's just simple logic. And those are the different dynamics between men and women. Is most men approach things from a does that make sense point, And most women approach it from, I don't care if it makes sense. I don't care if it makes sense. And as dudes, we sitting there like,
It don't make no motherfucking sense.
and women say it don't have to, because it's predicated on how I feel. I wish I could live like that. I wish I could live doing things just how I felt, but some of it don't make sense. Sparkle says, it's not just that I think that some men don't want to open up and are scared to be vulnerable. Vulnerability comes at a cost, right? And we have to be conscious of who we're putting that preciousness, that delicateness, that fragility, whose hands we're putting it in. And most men would rather not put it in anybody's hands, saying that no one is qualified to manage my vulnerability, and they won't have to if I never give them an opportunity to. And yeah, Red, a lot of it is how we were taught growing up. It's very effeminate for men to be vulnerable and open and all that kind of stuff. That's an effeminate quality. And the only reason why I say it is because we don't have the ability to be emotional and then respond correctly to most things that happen in life. And because most times women are, because of your femininity and your vulnerability and your willingness to be vulnerable and how it's like a component of who you are, you don't need two vulnerable people like that trying to do things. You need somebody who's going to be a rock, and you need somebody who's going to be a pillow. You need somebody who's going to be able to break things and shut things down, and you need somebody who's going to be able to catch you when you fall and nurture those moments. And that becomes a challenge because you don't want two of the same. It is a true story, man. Opposites attract, and the balance in opposites attracting only comes when they are open and considerate enough to meet in the middle. There needs to be a balance, though. It's okay for men to be vulnerable. Red, yes. And I can't tell you what that balance is, because that balance, again, becomes the more vulnerable and emotional that men become, the less logical and masculine they're able to help handle situations. Yeah, like Coffee, there are moments where we're showing, that open spot, that most, vulnerable spot can be in, but there are only a select few that should ever get to see that. Most people don't know how to manage that correctly. Even the people you show it to at times, well, we know that for a fact. We know that vulnerability in men has been weaponized by the wrong women in our past. Somebody you've shared everything with will come back and cut that heart wide open. We've seen it happen. We've all been, most men have been a part of that, where you shared your innermost feelings with somebody and they didn't, they turn around and that's what makes, that's how how, men who have been vulnerable. Yeah, Coffee, absolutely. People who has been used against before, and you see they're forever changed, because trusting somebody on that level is just difficult. It's one of the most difficult things to do, to give somebody so much of yourself without knowing that they know how to take care of it properly. And so we choose not to do it at all. Yeah. Stephanie said her husband is her rock, should stand beside him in anything. That's what's up. I know a few men who are older, who are guided by their emotions and are less logical. And I know that's challenging, LaTanya. I already know. Like, oh my God. Like, I could not imagine being really, really emotional. Like, y'all do understand that when we say emotional, when I think emotional, I'm not entirely thinking crying and, that kind of, or simping, as some dudes would call it. I'm not looking at that. I'm like, emotional, there's some emotional men out there that are whooping some women's ass. There are some emotional men out there. There are some emotional men that are cussing women down to their core. There are some emotional men out there. Like, but most of us men who are logical are like, yo, that don't make sense to do that. Yeah, no, I'm not going to speak to a woman like that. Like, logically, I'm not the one who has the problem. Like, it's things like that. Like I know that my demeanor being reserved and super chill, even in heightened moments. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Latrice, it just depends, Latrice. Like, you, to find that person, they really, 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 really love you. But also, you can destroy that man, Latrice. Ooh, Latrice, if he really loves you and he's been vulnerable to you, but you do something and you shut him down, it's a wrap for everybody else. Yeah, that's too much. I'm saying, Red, but we know it's out there. What up, JT? We know that's out there too. So when I think about emotional, I think about the range of emotion. You know what I'm saying? There's a full range of emotion that comes into place that we got to be conscious of. And part of that is, you know, as much as we want the lovey-dovey, you know, speak from your heart and tell me the beautiful things, there's a demon on the other side of that. That's going to interpret, yeah, I'm going to show you. Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell you. Oh, yeah, you're going to get this. You're going to get this passion. You know what I'm saying? So it's a hard balance. Hurt people. You know what I'm saying? It comes with self-analyzation too, Latrice, right? And I guess that's a part of maturity, where you really start looking at yourself and deciding who you're going to be in this world. Once you got an identity to yourself and you say to yourself, I ain't finna argue with you. I ain't finna do that with you. I ain't finna, come on, man. I'm not finna go there. That part is the part that matters most. Is you want to be somebody not only emotionally and logically and physically, but you want to be, and financially and spiritually, you want to be somebody that somebody can rely on in those moments, in those ways. The greatest challenge I tell women that you may have with us as men is being vulnerable at the moments that you're being vulnerable. I can tell you those moments for me have come far and in between. You know, not very often are we vulnerable at the same time. What up, Turbo? What up, Timmy Turbo? Oh, words, Stephanie. You say the right thing to, you say the right thing to a man and you break him down to his very last compound. It's like trying to discipline your teenager for the first time. There's a lot of work to be done. Yeah, coffee. But it has to be. It has to be done and it has to be consistency. That's what's up, Tim. He said, love your show. You the best. That's what's up. I appreciate that, bro. They be wanting to keep arguing too. I ain't got time. Yeah. It's just how you manage things, right? We both can't be the same. God didn't design us to do that, to be that way. Like, that's not the design of us physically or mentally. We're not supposed to carry the same shield, so to speak. So I was out in Vegas, and one of my other homeboys was sitting down with some friends of his, and he went to introduce me. I shook one hand, and she was, she shook my hand. It was kind of soft, and then somebody else shook my hand, and the other girl squoze my hand. I said, hold on, what are you doing? Don't squeeze my hand like that. You squeezing my hand like a dude, like you trying to do business with me. Ladies, if you're not trying to do business with a man, please don't squeeze their hand all super hard. Please don't. It's just an indicator of, like, you're trying to put forth this masculinity, and men, most of us don't like that kind of masculinity. But she squoze my hand all hard. Yeah, we're going with squoze, Teray. She squoze my hand all hard, and I was like, yo, why? We're not doing businesses. You're meeting me on a casual basis. Please give me the handshake of a that's chill. Like, don't squeeze my hand like we just closed the deal of a lifetime, because we didn't. We just got introduced. Hello, be a soft, beautiful woman. Let's do that. Let's be a soft, beautiful woman. What you have nothing. There's nothing to prove here. There's nothing to gain from squeezing my hand all hard. And that's where I'm trying to say, my hand, I'm a man, I use my hands, my grip is gonna be, all I could think to myself is I could break your hand right now. But I ain't say that to her. In my mind, I'm like, why is she trying to squeeze my hand? But that's because in the military, you're not in a relationship, Coffee. You're doing business with people in a relation. You know what I'm saying? You are asserting your strength in those situations as a sign of respect and to be respected, Coffee. But in society, socially, hell, if we go in there in the military, y'all wear fatigues all the time and carry a gun all the time, and y'all gonna garner a certain kind of respect. We don't do that regularly. Timothy said, people get in the moment, they do not live for you, they're stuck in their moment. I'm not sure where we're going with that, but yeah, they do, and you can't take them back. Yeah. You know, so I look at that and say, God didn't design us to be the same. He said, hey, you men, because of either he was like, because of our, yeah, you know what I'm saying, Red? I'm like, yo, how you gonna lead? We ain't even dancing. Like, how you gonna, we ain't even start dancing yet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? She went in, and all I could think to myself, Dub, is like, I could, if this is a hand squeezing contest, I'm gonna shut you down. Yeah, we get stuck too, Timothy, totally. But it's a matter of knowing, first off, identifying our place in our relationships, and then from there, deciding to share some of that with the other person. If we're in a great relationship, it won't require me to be hardcore masculine all the time. If we're in a great place, it won't require you to be submissive and nurturing all the time. Sometimes I'm gonna need you to toughen up, and sometimes you're gonna need me to soften up. And that's the balance that we'll develop while being together. But initially, from design, I use a pendulum. I always talk about how the pendulum swings hard when you meet somebody. It's over here for her opinion, it's over here for your opinion, it's over here for her opinion, it's over here for your opinion. As you grow together, it shouldn't swing all the way left, it shouldn't swing all the way right. It should swing 70-70 some. And the more you get to know each other, now it's swinging like this. Then it's swinging like this. And next thing you know, y'all are dancing in the middle. Like, that's honestly where we want to be at. We want to be dancing in the middle of our relationships. When we communicate, we want to dance in the middle. Who wants to dance all the way your way? Who wants to dance all the way that way? What up, Twan? Missed you in Vegas, bro. I wish you was out there. We had a good time with your people. Twan is, one of Floyd Mayweather's right-hand men. We missed you out there, bro. Had a good time. That's what, when y'all think about y'all relationships now, start looking at it from the way the pendulum swings, right? Are y'all swinging in the middle, or does it swing harder left or harder right? Now, I know that there are going to be times where somebody has to stand on their position, but you should also ultimately, that position should be the same as much as possible. It should be close. It shouldn't be, oh, that's the way he thinking, da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? It should be, no, man, we kind of see things similarly because we've been through enough to kind of get it. We know where each other, we you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? True story, Coffee. Like, it should, they should flow in such a way it represents both of you, versus in the beginning, your opinion can only represent you in the beginning because that's all you know. Granted, I'm with it. Same thing with me. Most of the stuff that I communicate with is going to come from my perspective. But if I'm open enough, if I'm chill enough, you can introduce your perspective and maybe enlighten me on something. Zena, thank you for showing up, man. You always show up and show out. Zena's tapping out from YouTube. If you guys haven't, you can join my YouTube by hitting the link is at the bottom on Instagram, but on TikTok, you see the link when you press for Instagram on my profile. Timothy got to go to time for his spin class. His fourth one today. He is a spinning fool. I promise you. Tim spins more than anybody I've ever met in my life. So the key for the success of your relationship is going to be maintaining the way the pendulum swings. You don't want it to swing hard right. You don't want it to swing hard left. Somehow we have got to meet in the middle. If there's a word for today, is figure out how to meet in the middle. Figure out the happy place. Now, sometimes there ain't going to be one. Sometimes somebody has experienced something in life that's going to make them stand on their position. And if educated and if communicated correctly, you shouldn't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? If said correctly, it shouldn't be an issue. And that's where, we'll have another conversation about communication being one of the key assets to a successful to success, because too many opportunities are missed from people saying these three words that I really, really, really dread hearing coming out of anybody's mouth. And I think you dread hearing it too. I didn't think. The most painful words you'll ever hear. I didn't think. If y'all realize, it's the craziest, stupidest words I've ever heard. I didn't think. I want to have a conversation about that, but it's a full conversation. It's not an ending conversation. That's a leading conversation that we got to have. I didn't think. It's painful for the recipient of that hears that. And I resent people telling me I didn't think when they're communicating with me, because all I can say is, how is that possible when your brain never shuts off, first and foremost? And if you cared about me, why isn't that at the forefront of it? What up, Mark Q? Mark Q is a R&B singer, one of the dopest voices of this new generation. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get him heard by the multitude, because his tone is super duper dope. It's a lot to undo because I've always been an inward person and conflict avoider. Well, you can't avoid all conflicts, Red Fox. Some people got to know that you stand on what you stand on. And you get the respect that goes with that. And then they won't use those three words quite as often. They won't use I didn't think, because they'll respect you enough to think. But I don't want to get into it because I know I can dive. I know once we start unwrapping I didn't think from the perspective of people who use that word and then people who are victims of that word, of those three words, it becomes huge. Why? Because you never, first, like I said, you never stop thinking. So yeah, you have to, Red, like not only before you speak, but before you take certain actions. Man, when you recognize that there's so much power in the fact that people say, I didn't think, or I think, you know what I'm saying? It changes things. And he should want to resolve conflict as soon as possible, because the longer you let it fester, the bigger it can become. Got to go through it to get past it. Yep, I used to be the same. Yeah, absolutely. I often overthink, so not thinking is not an option. That's what's up. Now, overthinking is a challenge as well, because that becomes a self issue. But when you it becomes a self issue until you portray it to other people. When you're that's when your overthinking becomes a problem, is because you've played out everybody's part, but not exactly how it really was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're imagining things to a point where you don't get to really look at things for what they really are. And when you say, I didn't think, what you do is you take away the opportunity, you take away the responsibility that's associated with doing something. What up, Retired? You're a little late, bro. About to check out, but you're a little late. I'm glad you're here. For those of you that are checking in right now, I appreciate y'all coming in. Y'all know, the consistency I'm trying to provide and the time, so y'all know the schedule. I've always been the sensitive one, so automatically my feelings didn't hold weight the same. Wow. Yeah, so I'm sure you've adjusted that to reserve some of that sensitivity so that you can manage the conversation differently for an outcome that you might want. And that's really the point of us communicating about things that are, our differences, is so that we may have a amicable outcome to how we move forward. But I just want y'all to chew on that for a little bit. She said, I'm doing better these days. The pandemic got me in check. I'm sure it did. Shoot. Megalina, hey, first time here. Welcome. Hopefully you did follow the host. Okay, that's what's up. I'm glad you came. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I typically start at 9 a.m. And go to 11. The challenge with today was, I'm coming off of being on the West Coast, and so that time change is kind of affected me a little bit today. So I got off to a little bit of a late start, but hopefully it was full of great content. Hopefully you've got a chance to chew on some things. Some things I know I said were a little hard to swallow. Some of it was spicy, but it was all delicious. when I gave you this bite to eat. As you all know, I pop on sometimes, so make sure when you turn on your notifications, turn them on to always, because I pop on throughout the day, and I'm sure I'll be on a little bit more often now that I'm back in the saddle, back in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that chew for Monday. So we'll probably jump on a little bit later. I didn't expect for our conversation to dive into relationship, but on my end of the country, that's what's up. But I'm not mad at it either. You know what I'm saying? I think is much needed. Y'all know that most times it's scripted. I do want to write down the subject matter for the next conversation, which is I didn't think. It's such those 3 words are so powerful. I didn't think. We've all heard those words, whether from an adult or from a child. We've all heard those words at our expense. So you guys can always DM me if there's something that we touched on that y'all want to expound on. I typically, you know, most of these conversations are written down already. You know, they're written down as, you know, so we have an idea of what we're going to be talking about in the future or whatnot. One of the dopest things I could commend you guys on is your involvement in the conversation, whether it's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, or wherever you're watching the broadcast from. The fact that you guys are communicating and sharing your stories and being vulnerable in the chat and your opinions is awesome. Amazing. Sang Anita Baker privately Thursday to him. Well, she sang it on Friday. My surprise Jen booked her for wasn't a crowd. Oh, Thursday. Yeah. If you don't, yeah, true story, Coffee. I'm glad everybody enjoyed today. We will, I know, right? Yeah, on his birthday. I was on Friday. Again, I appreciate everybody for being here. Oh, you sang it Thursday. Okay. Where when did you hold on, back up. You were at Nomad? Hey, Candy. Girl, fix my life. Yo, Candy just joined on Instagram. She's her hands are so valuable. She's an amazing therapist. If she put physical therapist, and if she puts your hands on you, you're gonna tell her keep putting her hands on you. So, oh, for real? Because I was in Vegas. I got there late. But did we sing happy birthday to him at the thing? I'm trying to think. I can't remember. At Nomad, I can't remember. But with that in mind, y'all, it's been an amazing show today. You know, I love you know, the fact that I can come back. We can tune in, we can vibe out. Yeah, that limbo was off the chain. Her crawling underneath the stick. You know, wouldn't you like to know, DJ Dub? I want to tell everybody have an amazing time, an amazing day. Until we speak and kick it again, make sure you turn on notifications so you know that you are in position to join immediately when we get on. The conversation doesn't wait till you get here. It actually starts right at the beginning. That's right. She didn't waste not a drop of that drink. Yeah, so if you guys watch, shout out to Chrissy Chris, who got her subscription on today. Shout out to Chrissy Chris. Nadine, make sure you get your subscription up top. All my day ones, make sure y'all get y'all subscription on TikTok or on definitely on YouTube as well. But make sure y'all tune in. I'm gonna jump back on a little bit later, I think. But like I said, I'm on a crazy time zone twist right now, so I'm just trying to pull it all together. The little jet lag is right when I got used to jet lag in Vegas. Now I'm feeling it, you know, back here in Atlanta. So we're gonna get it tight and right. I will be posting small clips here and there. I'll post on TikTok because I already did it on Instagram. But I'll post the us being on stage during the concert, kicking it, so y'all can see just how dope of a time it was. And then I gotta spend some time away from you all editing the footage from my vlog post that I'm gonna put onto YouTube, so you guys can see, you know, the journey and, you know, the nights and the kicking it and, you know, just what we did. I think y'all enjoy that. It'd be like a couple days in the life of Scrap, you know what I'm saying, kicking it for Usher's birthday, something like that. So with that in mind, y'all know this is not goodbye, but this is to be continued. Chrissy, yo, I appreciate it. Let's give Chrissy another round of applause. Yo, if y'all want to, go up to my profile picture on TikTok. Next to it says subscribe. You can subscribe now and become a subscriber. That'd be super, 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 super dope. Appreciate it, and I will check y'all out another time.